everybody. Happy Sunday. I hope everybody enjoyed the matches yesterday. We had OpTic fan. We had a really good one, 3-0 win over the Seattle Surge. I got a couple notes over here to my left-hand side. A few things that I want to say before I get started in the video, though, is I want to apologize for the audio quality and the video quality. Excuse me. For these next couple of videos, I'm still just working on getting the hardware and all the ins and outs of making these videos. I'm still pretty new to the whole situation, but I really just wanted to get some videos out for everybody. So I just kind of said fuck it for the quality, and we'll work on that in the future. And I appreciate everybody's patience with what I'm dealing with right now, and thank you for being part of the ride. Like and comment, subscribe, you know the deal. Also, in the future, I would like to do these match reactions with fans. So if anybody watching this video, if you could please join the Discord that I have linked down below. Then we can start doing these with actual fan reactions. You don't have to see my stupid face every day or every other day. So we can go from there and actually get some real insight from people that watch them just as much as we do. So without further ado, let's get started. I have a couple opening notes from the map here. some of the opening notes that I had, some of the thoughts that I had before the match started was, as of late, Prestini and Gunless have been playing really well. So those are two players that I was definitely looking out for. We know that they always have a point to prove when they play us because of the previous history. So we knew we were definitely going to get their A game. Potential to be a really close series. I remember the last time OpTic played the Seattle Surge a few weeks ago before the Stage 2 Major. I think it was it actually might have been in the Major. I think it was a 3-0 or a 3-1. Once again, super close series. OpTic able just to edge it out in the end on a few of those maps. Let's see. I think this series is definitely a little bit of a similar tale. And the last note that I have here is OpTic is actually looking pretty solid in S&D. This is a good opportunity to try some new maps and some new strats for a team that's not necessarily at the upper echelon of the search and destroy teams in the league that we have right now. So without further ado, let's get right into this match reactions. I'll keep it short and sweet for you guys. I don't ramble too much. Map 1 was a Moscow hardpoint win. OpTic ended up coming away with that 250 to 241. I remember Gunless actually started super hot. I think he was 18-8 at one point. They got a really big kill from P1 to P2 rotation. They were able to get him off the streaks, and if you were able to get those streaks, that map might have been able to snowball into a different result because they only ended up losing by 9 points. But overall, the map was super duper mixy. I remember there was some really crazy spawns on voice spawning globe, like on that P2 rotation or the P4 rotation to P1. I think Gunless spawned like back PD when Formal was bottom PD, and that was like a P1 to P2. So there were some super crazy spawns. I don't know if that had something to do with the 60 Hz servers, but I've never seen spawns that sporadic before on that map. And it definitely kind of catered to some real crazy moments and a super duper close score. Because they didn't always know where everybody were coming from. There were so many pinch opportunities on so many of the hills. It was really exciting to watch. And like I said, OpTic did come away with that 9-point victory. Envoy, once again, the playmaker. I mean, he did some, I think it was that first P1 to P2 rotation. He was 3v1 in the back of the spawn. He played his life, picked up Prestini, picked up another kill, and then waited for his teammates to pinch out that back spawns and flip them out and spawn them back P3. And then OpTic had complete control of that second hill, which is new. If you're an OpTic fan, you've been watching them play Moscow hardpoint. It's actually pretty frustrating. Usually pretty frustrating to watch them rotate to that hill. But this time they actually capitalized really well and were able to stack up some really good points in that P2 to P3. Like I touched on before, Gunless has had a huge map. I think he finished like 28 and 14. The common theme for the Seattle Surge I've noticed over these next couple of series is they have some really good individual performances, but they're unable to capitalize and really put together that whole team performance to pull out the victory. Some closing thoughts on that. I've noticed not so much in S&D, but theme for this series was that OpTic really lived and died by Envoy's playmaking ability and the respawns, and that was super duper evident in that first map 1. So enough of that. Let's get on to the map 2. Moscow once again. S&D, OpTic came away with a 6-4 victory. They went down pretty early. I think it was a 4-2 deficit that they went down to. OpTic really struggling on their offensive rounds, opting to actually have Scump carry the bomb. I remember when they played Minnesota Rocker last week, 2 weeks ago. Formal was actually carrying the bomb, and they were really scouting for information and looking to rotate the bomb quickly on offense and get that bomb down and try to isolate the players that they had into the side that they had information on. Yesterday was a little different. Scump was actually carrying the bomb, Formal kind of being that island player. When they would switch up the offense, very rarely do they do a 4-man offense. Formal opting usually to sit on those back B-bomb stairs just kind of playing for information in that little jump spot, looking their back alley. And that worked really good for them as far as them getting the bomb down. But from what I noticed is once they are able to plant the bomb, they struggle a little bit in their post-plant setups. They're able to get pinched pretty easily inside that B site numerous occasions. And I think out of the 6 offenses, they only won 2 of them. One of them where they got the bomb down, and the other one was over on the A site. So definitely some things to work on there over at that B bomb site. But I did like that early B round 1 hit where they got that bomb down. Just a couple unfortunate caught timings inside the building there. Pristini came through the window, pretty much pushed right through the side, shot Scump globe, shot Formal on the side globe, and then got that 3rd kill on Dashy. So definitely some things I need to work on there, but still looking pretty good. Able to get the bomb down. Like I touched on earlier, defenses were crucial in this map. OpTic winning every single defense. 4 out of the defenses that they had. Really opting to play like the LA Guerrilla strategy where they would let the bomb go down and they would play the retakes, and they played them beautifully, played the trades really, really nice. So that was really good to see. And Scump, once again, looks great in S&D. He really turned the corner from Stage 1 Major, where people complaining about how poorly he was performing in Search, and you could definitely tell he's been putting his work in because he looks wonderful in that game mode, and it's really exciting to watch. OpTic continuing to improve in S&D, and the work you can tell is really, really paying off. So on to the Checkmate Control. It was a 3-1 win for OpTic Gaming, ending up the series in 3-0. Surge control struggles continue. Everybody knows that Surge isn't the best control team. It's actually really interesting to have them opt to pick to play Checkmate Control, knowing that they've banned Checkmate Control. I think it's the 12th. They've banned it 12 times in a row, usually deciding to play the Raid Control, but they are 0-7. Excuse me. They are 0-7 in Raid Control, so I think they were really just trying to switch it up and see if they can catch OpTic off guard. That's one of our stronger maps, and that was a really, really good turnaround result from when we lost that round, or we lost that map the other day to the London Royal Ravens. So some really, really good stuff in there as far as teamwork goes. Go figure, but stacking is actually a really, really good strat, especially on that bottom A wing when they can get control and they can spawn them out back wood, and they can get a couple of people on that side. It's very, very difficult to break, especially when you have trophies down and things like that. It's a lot of ground for that defense to cover. And with OpTic getting that first round win in the offense, that really set them up for the rest of the map because it's a super defensive heavy, and that was pretty much the tail of the tape. They won 1 offense and 2 defenses. So let's keep it pushing on here. Formal, I noticed we did a lot of the listen-ins. This is pretty new to this year, especially in respawns. I noticed that Formal was doing a lot of the IGN. His voice is really, really prominent. And I like that a lot because he's the main AR. He sees most of the map. I think that's really good to have your IGL as your main AR. And it was really nice to hear him kind of be that calming voice in the listen-ins that the broadcast team provided for us. This kind of goes without saying, but I noticed when they're on defense and the team that they're playing against is starting to cap A, they have a super heavy bias on pushing out that middle of the map. They kind of just leave that A-long section, and that's how they break it on the defensive side. And it looked really good, setting up those crossfires from bottom plane, top plane, like plane stairs, and then you have one hit through the wing. So that was really, really good to see, and it was too hard for the Seattle Surge to answer, especially on their offensive rounds. Closing thoughts on that was a really, really good, like I said, it was a good response from the loss to London. I think OpTic looks pretty decent in control. It's hard because control in this game is really only 2 viable maps, and you either play Raid or you play Checkmate. I would really like in the future to have a little bit more map diversity in that mode. I think that'll cater to the viewing experience. But overall, super good series. 3-0 victory was really good for the Green Wall. A little bit of a difference. That scoreline kind of tells a different story than what the series was, because a lot of the maps were super close. I think Hardpoint was 250, 241. S&D was 6-4. Checkmate Control, I mean, that was a little bit of a blowout, but I think that kind of caters to the map and the defensive heavy rounds that take place there. So once again, OpTic really opting to play the Moscow map modes. I think they look pretty decent on the Hardpoint. I remember when they first started playing Moscow Hardpoint, the team that comes to mind was against the Empire, and they lost another really close series, or another close map coming down to that P4. They look really, really improved on that. Their setups look nice. Just a couple things here and there. Their breaks are really, really good. So hopefully we can keep improving that coming into next week's major, and that'll be a really good map for us. Scump, for whatever reason, he's touched on this a bunch of times. But the amount of times that I've seen Scump get stuck this year, I mean, it has to be something to do with the auto aim on the Semtex or something, but the guy is just so unlucky. There's so many times where he gets into a PowerPoint and that stupid little stuck icon disappears on his screen, and it's just actually just a vibe kill. I remember he was pushing out, it was in the control. We had A control, and he was pushing out A long. We're on the offense, and to get control so we could spawn him out back left, back wood. And he gets the kill A long, runs around the corner, around the barrel, and he's about 3/4 to the elbow, and he just gets stuck with a nade, dies. Dashy also dies on the point. They get control and then ultimately win that defense. That was the second round, I believe, or the third round, sorry. But I don't know. I mean, it might be just conspiracy theory, but it does happen a lot. I would love somebody to tell me the amount of times he's been stuck this year. That'd be a wonderful statistic. Maybe if I have some free time, I'll go back and look, and I'll let everybody know. Last thing I'd like to touch on is a pretty quiet series from Dashy, in all honesty, but with the team that they have and the roster they have, they're so stacked that at any point in time, anybody could be that guy. Today it was Envoy and Formal. Next Sunday it might be Scump and Dashy, but pretty quiet series from Dashy. Did what he needed to do to get the W, but definitely wasn't one of his standout performances. So some other closing thoughts that we have, guys, on the weekend. Like I said, so we finished 6-1 in map count. It's a pretty good weekend. FaZe hasn't played yet at all. I don't really know where that leaves us on the standings. We have 2 wins so far, so we're looking pretty good. We only have 1 match next weekend, and then we have the major, and obviously it's against FaZe. So I'll have a couple more videos posted up this week. Hopefully get some more fan interaction here, and yeah, we can go from there. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate it. This is Greenwall TV, and I'll see you guys in a couple days. Thank you.